It's time for bad life decisions. I'm sorry to tell you, I've already paid $10 for a subscription to Novel AI. The bad life decisions have already been made. Hello, welcome. It's super special day 22. It's spooky scary season. We're going to do some spooky scary stories using Novel AI. What's Novel AI? You type into it and it tells you a story. We did AI Dungeon, not even for Shocker Stream. Dude, I am not spending $10 on Marvel Snap. I'm sorry to tell you. Really, I thought the subscription was $5. And by the time I realized it was $10, I had already committed to the bit. I'll probably get more entertainment out of this though. Anyway, we did AI Dungeon before. It's that, except I was about to say it's that, except it tells it more like a novel, like a story. But you can actually change settings over here so that you can do it text adventure AI Dungeon style if you wanted to. So that's always an option. If you've used this before, you may notice it looks a little stretched on screen. I wanted to crop out my 80 tabs up at the top of the screen, since this is just in a web page, and then I stretch it to fit the screen. I doubt this will actually affect anything too much visually, but nonetheless, if it seems off to you, that's why. You got a lot of settings. All right, I have infinite tokens, to my knowledge, because I paid the $10. You can make the AI better remember things. You can strongly influence it. There's a lore book quick access. I don't really know what story stats are. I don't think our story has stats right now. I've hit one dead end. The story hasn't even started. So that's really what's more ominous than hitting a dead end before you've even begun. Isn't that we're already off to a spooky, scary start. The one thing I will ask of chat, where is it? The config. You get to choose how it's gonna tell a story. You can get basic, all-rounder, more likely to choose reasonable alternatives, keep things on track, expect unexpected twists, or extremely imaginative, sometimes too much. I'm really leaning towards one of these two. I would like to hear chat's opinion. I don't really know what the difference between this is. It feels like this is maybe just different degrees of crackheadedness. But I'm curious what the last thing. Rider Demon. Alright, we're gonna go with the Rider's Demon on this one. There's advanced settings too. Oh my. Phrase bias. Yeah, cobweb bias 100. I don't know what token sequences are. Okay, I don't know any of this. That's too advanced for me. Okay. Alright. So, new story. I do have some... possible spooky stories put aside that we could do. But to kick things off, are there any chat requests? Any kind of spooky story the chat would like to hear? To kick things off, a test run? No, sir. All right. Frosty, we're gonna test run. We're gonna do a vampire test run. Give me a title for this vampire story, Frosty. Give me just the title, and I'll work out the rest from there. Also, if you guys want spooky music in the background, I have royalty-free spooky music I could play. Oh, what is this? Garlic Nights? That's a pretty good name. I don't know what this is going to sound like. Why is this 28 seconds long? It's not really a song. It's going to be really loud, actually. This is just the start of the playlist. Okay. I don't even know how audible this is going to be. My brother in Christ, if you're going to start playing ads, We might have an issue. I don't even know if this is audible. Oh. How's that? Is that good? I can't hear it. I can't hear it like at all. Is that good ambient noise or should I just turn it off? I would like to not have this visible. Thank you. Is that good ambient background noise? You don't hear it? It says there's audio, but I'm not hearing it either. That's so weird. You hear it? It's shitty? Okay. There's also this 3-hour one. Let's see how this is. Lo-fi. Let's get the lo-fi Halloween. No copyright Halloween lo-fi beats. Lo-fi hip-hop mix haunted house. What a great start. Okay, I'm gonna be. It's a little loud. How's this? I don't know what it is. I can't hear anything. Is my audio outputting incorrectly? Oh, dude, it sure is inputting incorrectly. How's the haunted house lo-fi? Good volume, little loud. There we go. Little haunted house lo-fi in the background to play. Isn't that lovely? I keep thinking this is the text box where I type. Let's do a quick make sure this doesn't sound like poop and piss on my end. Okay, I have to talk so I'm able to hear over it, see how it sounds for me. Alright, let's lower my volume a little bit. I'm like a little too loud. And we can maybe turn this up just a wee bit. Alright, let's get spooky story time. Spooky story time. Let's get this is scary. This story is called Garlic Nights. This is I don't know how I do this. Our story begins in the town of, I guess it's not really a state, or it's not really a town, it's a state. In the state of Pennsylvania, where the final vampire in the world is being tracked down by the village people after years of murder and terrorizing. I don't know if that's how you spell terrorizing. Let's get it. Let's hear this story, alright? Here we go. Spooky scary time. Happy Halloween. Let's get it. Are we generating? Okay, now we're generating. They ran through the streets after him, sharpened stakes clenched firmly in their hands. The vampire stumbled over a piece of ice, falling flat on his stomach as he tried his best to escape the mob. Alaska, he pulled himself back up and ran for his life, the group of men nipping at his heels, their intent clearly to capture him so that they could kill him. Over here, I've got him trapped, said Big John Burley. I don't know why. It's That's the character who said that. As he grabbed the monster's coat, you could almost taste the pile of cash in his head, as he knew that once he took care of this evil creature, his village would pay him a pretty hefty sum. "There you are," said William Sharp, stabbing the wooden point down into his arm. The man screamed in pain, pulling his arm to his chest, blood oozing out from a 3-inch gash in his skin. The vampire or Big John Burley? The monster quickly yanked his arm away, avoiding more damage from the stake, but still feeling the ache of his skin. He tugged harder until the stake had been released, then turned to strike Sharp. The blow caught him in the side, hitting him with his elbow and forcing him backward as the force of the blow landed squarely between his ribs. It would hurt when the sun finally rose the next morning. So the vampire, whose name was... I keep hitting enter thinking that's going to do it. So the vampire, whose name was Elliot, grabbed for Sharp, wrapping his claws around his neck. "He's got one of our men," Big John called to the other village guys who came quickly running. They leapt up, trying to grab their fallen man back from the angry vampire, all the while keeping one eye trained on the sun so they would know when it was time to start heading back. They couldn't risk becoming a pile of ashes just before a big reward came in, especially when there were women and children home depending on... Wait, do the people turn into ash when the sun rises up? That's right. This is a world where normal people turn to ash in sunlight until they manage to kill every vampire to release the curse. I keep hitting enter every time. The stake penetrated his flesh again and again. Sharp forced the stake further up the beast's chest cavity, ramming it in so far he could feel his bones rattling. Blood spurted from the wound like a fountain, staining his face and clothes a rich, deep scarlet. With a heavy heave, William released the sharp stake, sitting it through Elliot's flesh with ease. The villagers huffed and puffed, catching their breath and leaning on each other's backs and shoulders for support. "Oh my god, you guys killed him," one panted. "Let's get the fuck out of here. That thing's gonna be coming back to life soon, and I don't want to be here." But it was too late. Dude, they gotta make it so hitting enter does that. I'm gonna do it every time. Elliot raised his arms, a bloody hole torn through his chest, but a crazed look in his eyes that told the villagers they weren't safe yet. A fist crashed through Big John's face. My god, the brute's nose exploded, turning into a waterfall of red, and his sickening crunching echoed as he fell backwards. "Get off of me, you devil! He's got the strength of a demon inside of him!" Shouted Robert, the tanner. Elliot bared his fangs and snapped his jaw shut tightly. Robert screamed in agony as his fingers were stripped from his hands. Oh my god! He pulled against the demon with everything he had left, but to no avail. The vampire had hold of him, and there was nothing left for Robert to do to stop him. His muscles turned to dust and flaked away. His skin cracked and crumbled into a fine powder. I gotta keep going. I have nothing to say. The man gasped as the world around him turned black, and he became little more than ash in clothing. Blood stained the ground where they stood. Elliot pushed away, collapsing onto his stomach, heaving as the villagers looked in horror. His teeth clamped shut and a smile spread across his lips, stained red, as the only men alive who knew what Elliot's fate would be started toward him. The villagers backed away, raising their stakes and circling Elliot. That's when Elliot activated his bloodlust form. I gotta stop hitting enter. His body shimmered a strange dark color. Then the light began to shine out. The beast closed toward his shreds. His muscles stained and strained and grew. His teeth elongated, ripping the sides of his cheeks. Isn't there a way to, like... Hold up. I feel like there was a way to do, like... What do any of these buttons do? Isn't there like a way to image generate part of the story? Yeah, okay, I get it. Okay, okay. Can I do it from... I don't want anime. Oh, I definitely want furry. Dude, is anime the only options? Hit me with a... I would like to input from my story, please. I want to see... Let's see him go psycho mode. What has happened? Why did it reload everything? Go back to Garlic Knights. We're trying to have an anime vampire battle here. Let's try this. Let's try this with a... It's not like an image generator over here I can use easier, can I? No. It appears not. Unless this is? No. Okay. What's a... I guess a new shelf is just like a way to sort it. Don't show this. Alright, let's copy and paste that. Let's cover it up in case something unsightful happens. Let's generate the image. What do we get? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty funny. That's like a hilariously simple image. There he is. There's your handsome vampire friend. There's his, it says his bloodlust form. I don't need to save this. Take me back to my AI. Or to my stories. Anyway, back to it. Keep going. Fangs erupted from his gums and claws ripped through the tips of his fingers. Bones stretched out the ends of his fingers and grew. They scraped against the ground as his spine elongated, reaching the length of 7 feet. His bloodshot eyes widened to a startling yellow. Ish orange. In a flash he was upon them, plunging his newfound talons through the nearest victim's ribcage and lifting them high into the air with a sharp tug. The other villagers charged in, stabbing their stakes and shouting as if they truly believed they could overtake such a powerful beast. But no matter how strong their hope may have been, their minds failed to overcome the monster before them. The sound of his talons cutting into the wood of the stakes would forever haunt their memories as they watched their friend fall limply to the ground. The monster's claws painted scarlet and his teeth stained ruby as they sank deep into his throat. His screams died instantly. The monster was swift, slicing into his enemies as if they were made of water, a knife passing through the cloth. Elliot stood before them now, looking to all appearances human, but he held an aura of death about him. The other village might know he looks like a giant vampire monster. The blood from the man on the ground was still dripping from fingertips. Maybe you shouldn't have killed him quite so fast, thought one village or the other. I didn't ask for your opinion, Korea. Garlic soup today. Welcome back. Okay, here's what you missed. Big John Burley is dead. Like, some guy named Robert is dead. And the vampire has Elliot the vampire has activated his bloodlust mode. I don't think I have the image anymore. We Big John from Halloween Kills. I image generated the vampire form, but I don't think it... I don't care! Okay, it did not say... Wait, is it in my history? It's not in my history. Okay. I don't know how to save the images, to be honest with you. Okay, so you're just not going to see his bloodlust form. It was a very generic big vampire, so... That's all you need to know. Anyway, he just, like, went bloodlust form and massacred everyone. Also, this is a world where the humans turn to dust in the sunlight. The scariest is in the mind. And it was at this moment Elliot realized he must destroy his biggest weakness. The sun! It's cooking too. He's going demon dashing. Alright, let's send him to... I think he just killed like a whole villager's worth of people. He went running towards the sun to get away, but one last villager grabbed the stake. He tossed it underhand, and Elliot instinctively reached out and caught it. The wood splintered his hand. A sharp sliver sliced his finger. Elliot, you idiot! You moron! A drop of blood beaded and rolled across his skin. He couldn't hold back his power any longer and let out a horrifying monstrous scream. He spun around and charged, slamming his fist into the face of the man, killing him on impact. This was his legacy now, a race of demons he helped to bring into the world, an army he could bend to his will or could slaughter for his survival. This would be his last night of existence in a way, for he could never be that weak ever again. You have defeated the mighty beast, said the king to a tall blonde woman who held the stake with a bloody bit of wood attached. But tell me, what shall you do now, Kincaid? I have no interest in seeking revenge for the loss of a small group of hunters. You may return to your castle now. Perhaps, he said, though Kincaid seemed not to hear it. Who the fuck is Kincaid? However, before we go, might you find the time to indulge me with some tales of the vampire world? If you do mind, don't mind at all? Not at all, sir, she said. Is Kincaid a vampire? Is she a vampire hunter? I have tales for all your ears, the woman continued, glancing around at the others she'd known. Was this all a story she was telling? Is it all a little fictional story in the mind of Kincaid? Glancing around at the others she'd known before, each nodding silently yet excitedly in anticipation. It was a customary tradition to tell the newcomers the old stories and legends of how each clan or village originated. This is the village, how the village of the vampires originated? But first, she whispered to herself, her attention returned to the old man. Do you wish to hear the most detailed and intriguing one of all? It does pertain to one that everyone will remember for the ages and also the least believable. My God? It's a story within a story? That does sound like an excellent tale. What is the creature you speak of and its background? The legend of the bloodlust vampires, sir, she explained with a grim tone. We, like, pivoted. That was, like, our cold open to the vampire movie. It is a history that has been passed down for thousands of years, and I remember it like it was only yesterday. But, of course, please feel free to stop me anytime, and I will clarify things as they go. She's speaking to us, the audience. I think I will. Thank you very much, replied. So please go on whenever you are ready. The audience, mostly women and children, what the fuck? Quieted and took their... It's because the vampires killed all the men. Took their seats to listen, each eager for some entertainment story, but mostly wishing to just learn more of the world, as the girl would present it. First, she began, one thing you need to understand about vampires is that they don't see the world through any of their 5 senses. Instead, they only see colors and auras, though the colors have meaning and change according to what emotion the person is having. They're also extremely fast, stronger than any human, and unlike humans, cannot die from old age. Write this down! Write this down! This is all gonna be on the exam. They have predator vision, but like instead of heat, it's emotion. Her words, though grim, brought chills and amazement, along with a mixture of other feelings as the woman continued. Vampirism was a disease, and it didn't always have to be this way. Before we humans, the planet was overrun with bloodthirsty monsters. The men in the front row sat at the edge of their seats, and she took notice. When I say we humans, I mean that our species, in its entirety, were not as we are now. Not all are creatures of the night. It wasn't very long ago that we were hunters ourselves, preying upon these beasts. Kari, I'm not asking for your opinions. Where do the myths that they burn up in the sunlight come from? I thought that was true, no, one of the older villagers asked. Most vampires in legend do burst into flames after being exposed to the sunlight. This was the fault of their creator and sire, Vlad. Kincaid pointed towards a small hut down by a large hill. This is where the legendary but still very real Dracula hid out. He's out in that hut down the street. He sat in his lair, his family sprawled all around him. They were so different, it would almost appear the group were members of a family, not an army. He looked away and raised his brow. Another of his kin is Dracula? Did we just hard cut to Dracula's story now? It's like the hardest transitions ever. He looked away and raised his brow. Another of his kin walked forward, pushing aside an oversized animal's pelt draped to the doorway. "What troubles you, Vlad?" he asked. Dracula was known for his long, gray, unkempt hair, along with his red, piercing eyes and red veins. When he spoke, he did not turn to face his questioner. "Nothing." His words came out sharp and harsh. He looked back at his brood. "We will move," he commanded. "The hunters are coming, and we cannot let them find our nest again." Who could that have been? The eldest daughter, Mina, asked. Mina had been born 24 years earlier to their tribe, and they were nearing the anniversary of her birthday. That's one way to phrase it. "What are we going to do with him this time, Daddy?" she giggled, jumping up and down while clinging to his leg. An awkward act on any normal person, but vampiric strength allowed her to keep herself in place. Bro, is the music... I forgot we had music on. I take it the spooky music's doing alright. "Do you want to go somewhere exciting? Away from the no, it's the mom. Away from the castle, like the countryside," her mother chimed in, which led to several others murmuring about it. Vlad did not like his wife's involvement in this talk. Dracula hated women. My dog is freaking out. Getting in the way. "We will return here later," he ordered. "For now, it would be best if we were all away. I am sorry, I was wrong, and that is all that needs to be said. Just follow and I will lead you into a safe path." The Dracul clan rose slowly, then began to trail slowly behind. The oldest was a short, red-headed youngest, a baby boy with beautiful white skin and red hair. "Well, don't make it seem like your brother is more important," said the red-headed mother, pointing her sharp nail at her eldest son. Dracula tried to hide his shame, but a simple act of pretending he wasn't there wouldn't be able to erase the look he'd... "He's more important than you all you consider..." Shut up! What do you mean this guy's more important? The young man sulked in silence as he trudged ahead of everyone else. "No worries, you'll come to understand when he's older. His time will come to rise," the other mother added. Then, suddenly, professional vampire hunter Kincaid burst into the hut. I keep hitting enter. I will never not hit enter. "Stop them!" she screamed, and dozens of guns clicked. "Step away from your wives," she ordered, approaching him with a steady but shaky voice. "Don't make it too difficult." They swatted Dracula. "We're going with him." Where all the guns cover. That's Kincaid's supernatural ability, summoning a bunch of guns around her. "We're going with him, Kincaid," one woman screamed defensively. "Let him go. He's never done anything wrong to any of us," she begged. "If any of them go, they will not be killed." But Kincaid did not want to listen, as she did not trust vampires. And she had already activated her super ability of summoning a bunch of levitating guns around her. Kincaid mode. This power was called Vampire Hunter Gun Form. Where the gun control laws at? With a flick of her wrist, a hail of bullets were launched in the direction of the vampires, tearing holes and mutilating flesh, spilling blood onto the ground in droves. It was no contest. Sorry, we gotta pivot to image generator real quick for this one. Blonde vampire hunter who can summon levitating guns around her. Do I have regular diffusion V2? Why is that not like an option? I guess I just don't have that option. Do we want... You know, let's do anime edit for her. Like, Kincaid gets animated form. I'll use 13... I have 1,000. It doesn't matter. Let's get the anime variant. That sucks, bro. That's so bad. That's fucking terrible. Send me back to like this one. Put me back in a regular AI form. Okay, that's bad. Why is this one more anime? Oh, because this is anime V1. Is it? What happened to the regular generation? I swear there was a non-anime one. They're all anime, I guess. Alright, well, you know what? Here you go. I need, like, more of them. This is, like, regular Kincaid. Summoning mini levitating guns around her. Dude, this is way better than V2. Okay, that's pretty good. That's actually really good. How do I save these? I really want to download. Uses base image. Whatever. We'll just hit the download button. I have to bring Dunks in real quick. I will return very shortly. Give me just a moment. Alright, I'm back. I've let Dunks in. Why did I come back to Genshin Impact? This is what Kincaid looks like. Let's get Blonde Vampire Hunter summoning many levitating guns around her and shooting at Vlad Dracula. Let's get that image. This is an important image for right now. That's not... It's wrong. Incorrect. Let's generate variations. Dude, Dunks is very thirsty. This is not what I thought generating variations would do. At the Vampire King Vlad Dracula. Okay, it's not. Blonde Vampire Hunter. Who can summon levitating guns in a deadly battle against Dracula. Just generated different ages. This is like a good image. This is actually just like a decent image. Why is she wearing a school skirt under the dress? Listen, brother, don't judge it. I actually like this one. Anyway, let's get back to the story. I don't know how long we want the vampires to run. Elsa Bloodstone variant. I did almost call her Elsa Kincaid. We don't know if Kincaid's her first or her last name. Anyway, it was no contest. She obliterated the vampires with her mini guns. This woman was inhumanely precise with her aim. She shot her opponents right in their foreheads, killing each and every vampire instantly. "Good night," Kincaid said, turning her back on the corpses and walking back towards her cottage. "Don't have any trouble. No more harm will come to the vampire people tonight." She spoke aloud to no one, trying to ignore the blood spraying the center, even the sight of death in front of her. She was insane. She killed every one of them, except their master, their husband, and their lover, Dracula. He escaped and found a new home elsewhere. A young vampiric woman named Sonia wandered along the barrens. Kincaid immediately attacked her. It's cooking too hard. But instead of shooting and killing the poor woman, Sonia easily dodged the shots with the wind whirling her hair. As soon as Kincaid ran out of bullets, she pulled out her dagger and proceeded to chase after her target. It's good. Little did she know, Sonia had the power to control wind. And earth with her hand. I didn't want it to do that, so Sonia fought back. With a single clap of her hands, the wind knocked her pursuer away and created a sharp, jagged stone which was thrown right back at the vampire hunter. "Not so fast," came the reply. In a moment, the dagger had sunk itself deep into her flesh. She's a bloodbender. Cutting away at her neck, but just before the blade was torn outwards, a wild stream of fire came bursting forth, and Kincaid found herself sent to the side. I have no idea what's happening anymore. This might be the vampire avatar. Sonia shook as she stood up for her position. Worry not. It seems you were not able to stop her. I believe that is what you wanted." Kincaid pressed a hand to the wound. Kincaid pressed a hand to the wound, blood seeping out between her fingers as the earth crumbled beneath her feet until she disappeared entirely. "Very nice. I trust that your training has gone smoothly." It was at this moment during Kincaid's story that a young boy raised his hand and asked, "What the hell are you talking about?" Remember, this is all Kincaid telling a story to a group of villagers. This is vampire lore Kincaid is supposed to be telling them. The vampire woman ignored his rude tone, knowing well how little children's minds work. Still, her teeth grated at such a disrespect, but she was in too deep for her temper to flare now. It would only make her job worse, so she answered politely as best she could. "To become a true hunter," Kincaid began, speaking patiently to the child, "one must undergo many rigorous training sessions that include hand-to-hand combat and magic training. It takes a long, hard work." "Yes," called another boy. "It doesn't matter how much it sucks," cried a female voice. "Just try it." Kincaid leaned against the counter of her hut and gave out an audible groan. "Yes, I suppose so," she mumbled, taking a breath and starting again. "As I said, we must continue with our lesson, so please continue listening. After all this killing, nothing stopped the hunter." Kincaid. Stalking. God. Every day and night, she murdered an insane amount of vampires until all was left in a sea of blood, the screams of innocent souls crying in agony. She was a monster who drank her victims and bathed in their tears in misery. Holy crap. I would like, the AI will better remember info, please, here. Kincaid is a vampire hunter who can summon levitating guns. Sonia's still alive. A vampire who can control wind and earth. Humans and vampires turn to dust in the sunlight. Okay. I don't know if I need to, like, make any more changes. I don't know if I have to hit anything to save that, but that's okay. Her thirst for blood, her drive for justice were inextinguishable and insatiable. But what drove her the most was the hope that if she killed every last creature on Earth, all would be forgiven. A single tear of anguish and loss, a soul with no true direction in life, and therefore became fixated upon the one thing it thought it could fix, the eradication of the vampire race. I should also remind it that, unless all vampires are killed. We unless or until? Probably just until. Say a curse makes humans and vampires do that. This drove the hunter on a long, agonizing journey across the continent, and she traveled. By the time her travels reached Europe, her resolve was tested as she stumbled onto the outskirts of Transylvania, deep within the Black Forest at the foot of the Carpathian Mountains. One must be erased for the other to live. From a distance, through the mist and fog, Kincaid spied a campsite. She stopped short when she spied several men milling about a massive bonfire. Though, at a quick glance, they appeared to be regular villagers, a second glance revealed that these were, in fact, vampires. Just like her target, and therefore must die. However, in her zeal, Kincaid failed to notice that all the corpses scattered across their encampment were those of other human beings, their clothing bearing no insignia of the Holy Cross or cross symbolism. Okay, and... As she crept closer, one vampire pointed the hunter's hiding spot in a small wooded area some ways from their location. They spotted her almost instantly, but before the first step toward her could even be taken, Kincaid heard the rumble of the truck's engine before her brain comprehended the warning signal sent from her ears. The sudden sound of heavy steel wheels driving on wet earth made her jump up from her spot beside the forest trees. A loud gunshot echoed across the landscape as the gunman fired his shotgun into the ground, followed by another shot directly behind her. Kincaid was flung to the side as if tossed carelessly and violently through the air, leaving her lying prone on top of a pile of stones that had been hurled to her direction as well. It seemed that she'd been injured far worse than was visible at first glance. From her bloodied shirt, the knife that stuck through her belly oozed crimson as she pulled the knife free with both hands and clutched at her abdomen. Thank you, Talking Head. Then as the last of the crimson seeped through her clothing, the blood pooled and drained away in an arc from under the hilt of her knife blade and formed an expanding circle across the stone surface of the ground beneath her. Kincaid fell over backwards with a small thud against the rock. She lay unmoving on the cold surface, eyes locked straight ahead and focused intently upon the blackened sky above, staring up at nothing, completely still. But her deep hatred of vampires would not let her die here. Her blood had conveniently pulled into a ritual circle, reviving her in a way no human or vampire thought possible. Kincaid transformed completely into vampire hunter bloodlust gun form. Alright, fucking go apeshit. Go apeshit with that one. The woman was so devoted, so hell-bent on wiping out the species, that her mind couldn't stop fighting itself, and it kept making new bodies for her. She had become the ultimate weapon. Her mind had built the ultimate soldier, a vampire without morals, but with the soul of a human. They call her Elliot! There was silence as everyone absorbed her words. Finally, one man raised his hand and called out. Luigi head pop up. My god, a prequel. No, the cold open was foreshadowing of what was to come. She was Elliot the whole time. Elliot Kincaid. We never said Elliot was a guy except for all those times the story did. Raised his hand and called out. So who is the guy with the cross-shaped scar? Elliot's lover, right? He sounded patient. Well, tell us, another voice echoed. Tell us more. So, Elliot, formerly Kincaid the Vampire Hunter, had gained the ability to revive in any circle of her own blood. Not long ago, she'd been killed by an ally of the king's, and yet when she awoke, her wounds were already healed and she stood among the bodies she'd just fallen on. Yes, Elliot responded with confidence. Of course a warrior needs a better name, wouldn't you say? The man before them appeared just slightly taller, younger, more toned and muscular than most other humans around here with brown hair. This might be cliffhanger ending for this one while we move to something else. The only unique thing about his appearance was his nose ring. If you had told him, however, that a person's features could be seen just by a few differences in their makeup, well, that's what it would have felt like when you saw him. I think we should... Trey's riding himself in. Sorry, I don't have a nose ring. I also have brown hair. Gamer has a nose ring. I think maybe we revisit Garlic Knights at another point. I think ending it on the reveal that Elliot Kincaid was the vampire from the start all along. That's a pretty good ending point. Let's try another story. We can come back to this. All right, let's I have a list of options here. I'm gonna make a poll real quick. I wish there was a way for me to just copy and paste this. How do I wanna? Okay. Frosty, check your Discord. I'm gonna paste the list. Pick a list of any of these. These are the names of the stories. Pick any one of them, and that's what we're gonna do next. We may return to Garlic Knights at some point. Maybe there's more story to tell. Maybe it can just end with the reveal that she's the ultimate vampire hunter, vampire super weapon. Who knows? Story gets a little incoherent at times, but we didn't give it a ton to work with. That's just gonna happen sometimes. Let's go to a new story. I'm torn between 3. Chat's doing a big thing. Would you like me to awkwardly mash 2 of those 3 together? Because I could mash... in a very goofy way, I could mash Paranormal Investigation with Haunted Game Creepypasta. I was gonna do Paranormal Investigation Team, but they're investigating haunted video game cartridge. Okay. So you want the, you want haunted video game cartridge creepypasta? What those are. Can we get a different AI model? Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know what, like, similar to Rider's Demon with high CFG. I don't know what CFG means. A solid, sensible baseline tweak randomness preference, made for lore-heavy creative writing. Oh, you want, like, a different talking head? We could get CeeLo. They don't really recommend you use any of the legacy ones. I don't know what the difference between these two is, but we could get a different talking head CeeLo for this one. Let's try CeeLo for this. It's time to find out. Oh, she has different config presets too. A good all-around default with a bent towards pros, intended for creative pros, handles a variety of generation styles well, keeps things on track, designed for chat style generations. Okay, this might be something completely different. I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know what is a pros. Written or spoken language in the ordinary form without metrical structure. What does that mean? Talk tediously. Form of written or spoken language that follows the natural flow of speech, uses a language ordinary grammatical structures, or follows the conventions of normal academic writing. It differs from much traditional poetry, where the form consists of very big. What is it? I have no idea what this means. All right, whatever. Let's go. Yeah, let's hit the long press intended for creative pros. This is gonna be my haunted gaming creepypasta. Do not steal. Okay. It all started when I went to the local abandoned orphanage for a garage sale and found a copy of my favorite game. Sorry, I forget I'm not British. It wants the... Okay, whatever. You can fucking figure it out. On a shelf, which was being sold by a boy. I was shocked. How could it still be here? He sold it to me for $5. I asked him why he was selling it for so cheap, but he refused to tell me. It knows! It knows what we're going for. He seemed like a really nice guy, and he looked kind of sad, so I didn't press the matter. He also told me that his name was Brian. I took the game home, and after trying to contact creators to see if I could get an autograph from them. What? I found out they had passed away. I decided to give up on the whole thing and never tried to contact anyone ever again, so I played the game. It was good. I knew it was the game that made me happy, so I bought an expansion pack. By the way, the name of the game is Mystic Dungeon Curse of the Demon King. And the next day when I opened up my package, I found a book inside. I read it and I found it was the diary of the creator. The first entry was a picture of the author and his girlfriend. They were both smiling happy, and I knew right then that I was dead. I didn't want to believe it, but holy shit. I decided to continue reading and found out that the story continued after the game had ended. I've been looking everywhere for the boy with the red hair, but he's nowhere to be found. He seemed to have disappeared into thin air. MysticDungeon.wad. It was about the same time when I met the kid who sold me the game, so I figured I'd talk to him again. I went to his house, but no one was there. I decided to go to his school, but there was no sign of him either. I'm pretty sure that he was the only boy with red hair at the orphanage. I had no choice but to assume that he was dead. I can't believe Brian is dead. I yelled. Bro, stop. And as I cried in my room, after I'd calmed down, I got back to reading the diary. It's been 2 days since we last talked. He's disappeared. I don't know where he could be. I've been looking all over the place, but there's no sign of him anywhere. It was the same day that I met the boy with the red hair. Oh my. I had no idea how he could have disappeared. The next entry was written the day after he disappeared. Brian has gone missing. We haven't seen him since the day we met. I'm starting to worry about him. The next entry was a year later. I've given up hope on finding him. There's no trace of me. Dude, that's such a funny diary. Entry number 3, Brian. I've met this kid named Brian. Entry number 4, Brian is missing. Entry number 5, a year later, I've given up searching for Brian. Then you never find it again. The next thing I did was write a letter to the orphanage. I asked them if they knew anything about the red-haired boy. They said that he'd left the orphanage and didn't tell anyone where he was going. It's okay, CeeLo. Alright, listen, there's at least evidence that Brian is real. That's all I can find about him. I was sad I missed him, but I knew I couldn't do anything for him. But then a few years later, I met someone. What? My name is Brian. I'm 16 years old. My mother and father were killed in an accident. They were good friends with the author of this book. When I found I was the son of the author, I was excited. I was wondering if you knew anything about my father, the author. He told me everything. He told me about how they'd met, about his parents. He told me about how he disappeared and how he'd been searching for him. What's going on? It was all so interesting. I didn't want him to disappear again. So I told him about me and my parents and my life, and he listened. After that, we became best friends. Then one day I saw a picture of a girl. It was the same girl in the first entry in the diary. She was my friend's girlfriend. She died when they were little kids. Oh my! I was wondering if you'd seen her. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to tell him that she died. I wanted to help him. So I lied. I told him that I hadn't seen her. Are you sure? She's gone. I'm sure. I felt bad, but I knew I had to hide it from him. I couldn't let him know about his girlfriend. It would hurt him. I'm sorry, Brian. I don't know anything about her. He smiled. So then I decided to get his mind off of it. We would both hang out and play my favorite game, Mystic Dungeon, together. It was the same copy Brian had sold me, and I hadn't touched it in years. The expansion pack was bad. It was a game that was based on a medieval fantasy story, and it was a sequel to Mystic Dungeon. The main character was a swordsman named Red. His job was to search the land for his father, who was missing. Oh my! During his quest, he finds a mysterious woman. She tells him that he has a destiny and that he must save the world from the Demon King. But when he tries to leave, she stops him. Red asks her why, but she says nothing. Red is confused. He wants to know more. She tells him the Demon King is planning to take over the world. She says that he is powerful, but he is not strong enough to defeat him. It was at this moment that the game started acting weird and unsettling. Things that weren't supposed to happen began happening. The game's graphics and audio game became distorted and garbled, and Red started to lose his memory. It was then that the Demon King appeared. He told Red that he was not strong enough and that he needed the power of the crystal. Red refused to give it to him. He told the Demon King that he would die before he'd let him have it. The Demon King laughed and said, "No, you won't." Then he took the crystal from Red and left. After that, everything went black. It was then that I realized what was happening. The Demon King had taken the crystal from Red. He was going to use it to gain power. No, he's going to use it to destroy the world. I knew I had to stop him. I didn't know what to do, but I had to try. Calm down. Is just a video game, said Brian. You're wrong, I said. It's more than that. What do you mean, he asked. I mean that if we don't do something, the Demon King is going to destroy the world. He didn't believe me. He thought I was crazy. He said that the world was a game, and that it was only a game. He thought I was making it up. No, listen to me. I said, I'm serious. I'm telling the truth. No, he said, I don't think you are. I am. No, you're not. I am. Yes. I'm scared. Holy shit, dude. Holy fuck. Alright, that's an ominous. That is an ominous ending to. I think that went well. I think that story went really well. Listen, if I was sitting like home alone at night, this might have scared the shit out of me. This is a little unsettling, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really funny though. Hold on, give me a second to die real quick. Let's get an image real quick. Hold up. That was a solid ending to that one. Let's get a redhead boy named Brian selling me a video game at a garage sale. Give me another one of those. It like changed, it like swapped their ages. It's the same two people, but they age swapped. So let me a haunted video game. Let me change this. It's 13. You need like a regular landscape? Yeah, generate me a landscaped photo. Instead of saying me, I just said he sold a haunted video game. Yard sale. Why is this? No, I wanted landscape. Haunted video game at yard sale. Let's try that. That's not it at all. That's just like a person. If I do the... What happens if I do the furry one, but for... like an inanimate object? Oh, that does kind of work. Not much to work with. Not much to work with. Alright. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back. Okay, I have returned. The final story has been chosen. Is gonna be listen, Haunting Creepypasta Gaming was funny, but I'm gonna delete it because we don't need it here. It's finished. Fungal stores. Fungal spores. We're gonna do the paranormal investigation story. Do we have a preference of AI / config? Wait, I can edit the preset? I don't want to get that deep into it. That's getting a little too deep. I guess I can like literally see what the difference are. Okay, so Ryder's Demon has like default or has decent randomness, decent length, more or less repetitive. Hard to tell. What's the difference between Ryder's Demon and Green Active Rider? Oh, like it defaults to like most repetitive? I can't really tell, to be honest with you. Alright, let's go Karia with the unexpected twists. Give me a location for the paranormal investigation. What will they be in? What haunted place will they be investigating? Do we want to just bring back the classic Ghost Trick Manor for them to investigate? Oh, oops. Alright, it's time. They're gonna investigate Ghost Trick Manor. We're gonna go with the creative writing. Expect unexpected twists. We're going Karia. This is give me. Never mind. We're good. All right. How many people should be in the paranormal investigation team? Give me a number between like 4 and 10. 4. Okay. This is the story of 4 individuals who came. This is the story of 4 individuals named no, hold up. What the hell are you talking about? Alright, wrong, incorrect. What's it cooking? I wish I knew what a prose augmenter was. Okay. Try this way. Our story begins with a team of 4 brave paranormal investigators who have traveled all the way to the nightmarish, I spelled night wrong, ghost, the nightmarish and infamous Ghost Trick Manor, where many murders have taken place, many people have gone missing, and many monsters are rumored to reside. The 4 brave paranormal investigators are named... Can you do this one? Can you get this one? Sam, Jim, Katie, and the leader of the group is Tony. Here we go. The courageous Tony has a degree in ghostology and 7 in badass. Write that down. Write that down. In between their travels, they reach an alleyway and see a creepy sign in the form of 3 giant black leeches. Alright, we gotta... The AI's got a 7. Alright. Is it like a stat out of 10? Tony has a degree in ghostology and a 7 in badass. The most cowardly. We'll close that for a bit. Resembling the top row of teeth of some sort of grim specter. A dentist office, Jim says. No, just an eerie alleyway, Tony says. It's 3 o'clock, but it feels like midnight, or even graveyard midnight. What the hell is graveyard midnight? Oh, I did that wrong. Hold up. This is the correct way to do it. Who are the others? Sam, Jim, Katie, and Tony. Does it look better like this, or does it look better a little more condensed like this with the settings visible? When I'm not changing settings, which one's more appealing to look at? Never mind, we'll go through this spooky alley if it's the last thing we do. Right. Never mind, we'll go through this spooky alley if it's the last thing we do. And it probably will be, says Tony as he leads his group, and with only the light of the sun to guide them. That's a lot of light. The next day, after a long, sensible journey, they arrive at the mysterious and ominous Ghost Trick Manor. Welcome, investigators. You may not leave till your case is solved. A shrill, ghoulish... Oh, that's like the ghost in the manor. Welcome, investigators. You may not leave till your case is solved. A shrill, ghoulish, and raspy voice squeaked. God, you sound like someone who deserves to be stoned. Let's... Who said this one? Let's just get inside, said Tony. They took one step at a time towards the gigantic demonic door. One of the 4 splitions on the gate was half human and the other half leech. Why are there leech monsters so prominent? And another 4 splitions. What is a splition? A splition? It's Tony. What is it? What is this? No, not solution. What's a splition? In business is the allocation of the proceeds amongst all of the entities in an ecosystem. What? It's not a real word. Taking liberties. One of the 4 splitions on the gate was half human, another half leech, and another 4 was under the first image made a horrid, grotesque smile. The wind... That's twice now, by the way, the leech image is, like, made a smile. The wind then howled its harrowing wail, and it started to rain blood drops. They proceeded to the bloody front lawn, and Tony squatted on the headstone and took a big shit. shit on the headstone. Ask Sam. I don't care. I like shitting where people eat. Holy. Holy shit, Tony. Okay, I gotta read this for real. Ew, why'd you shit on a headstone? Asks Sam. I don't care. I like shitting where people have died. Tony responded, and his head went inside. I don't know if I can read this. I don't know if I can read this. I don't know if I can read this. Wait a minute. I gotta put the censors up. Evil Dead. Holy crap. Alright, I'm gonna read this a little cautiously. I'm gonna leave the censor up for a second. And see where this goes. Oh my god. Tony responded, and his head went inside a headless, bloody corpse, which did a thumbs up and said, "Thanks, man. I just love shit." It started raining, then thunder rumbled and lightning struck like knives through the dark sky, and Tony was thrown through a tree, which a man was hanging. Okay, we're back to horror. I wasn't sure where it was going with his head and the body. Where a man was hanged from his foot and his intestines were falling and rotting for the birds to eat. They're not even in the manor yet. Inside the manor, Tony went up a fancy gothic crimson, red, and purple colored floating stairwell. Okay, dude, Ghost Trick Manor's fucked, bro. This is insane. Tony got eaten by a giant ghost, which slowly appeared, phased through the walls and corners, made bloodied, gushing, stumpy nubbles burst through her sockets where eyes had been decimated, and eerily yet calmly and politely giggled to herself. Okay, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Holy crap. Bro. She politely giggled to herself and squished her skull-shaped extra heads and sucked the souls of the living. She moaned a high-pitched shriek-like roar, and her voices were in different voices. Sorry, I just looked at chat and saw in all caps, Ghost Trick Manor is fucked up. Her torso snapped apart into writhing, snake-like ghastly leeches, and they bifurcated her body, and she had leeches inside of them as well. The floor was a pile of rotting, swarming human remains, as if the hellish ghosts weren't enough. Large demon hellhound dogs with 2 or more snarling mouths, with dripping, foamy ooze and black saliva, white, hairless, blood-soaked skin, revealing a spine and fangs and multiple layers within their jaws were behind her, glaring with their reddened eyes, clacking their massive-sized claws threateningly. A dark, phasing but luminescent apparition of a leggy beast came down from the ceiling, and a rotted corpse of a human with its organs spilled out, and maggots swarmed and gnawed on the flesh, and there was a hole in his chest. The blob of human gibberish slowly came down the stairwell, and its torso had an open, gushing wound, exposing rotted ribs and limbs so bloody they were dripping. Separate from them, a huge swarm of bugs and fat worms crawling into my flesh. What the hell's going on here? Dude. Sad Katie. They went to the wrong. I sense we are being watched by hundreds, so it means we have to make it out alive, says Jim, but there are no exits out of the manor. Help us! cries the frightened Sam. They are so desperate they would do anything. Okay. We got censor check. Oh my god. Okay. Holy crap. Holy crap. Okay. Oh my god. I can't show this. I can't. We might. Okay. Oh my god. We might have to change AI. This guy's a little too cracked. I'm gonna try and regenerate. I'm gonna go back to help us, cried the frightened Sam. And I'm gonna regenerate from there. Can I where's the please exclude certain things option? I think I need to do that now. Is there a thing? I swear there's like a setting for that. Sorry, I have to blow my nose. I'm like dying right now. Holy crap. Okay, sorry. Alright, let me... Can I swear there was a way to, like, make it so it's less likely to say certain things. I swear this was a setting. Maybe I imagined it. I swear there was an option to, like, exclude certain things. I'm trying to remember where it was now. Was it this? Duplicate story, download story. Besides, by the way, because I paid the $10, I have a text-to-speech option. We cannot use that for this exact reason. I swear to God there was a setting for this. Am I, like, insane? Is this gone rogue and I'm no longer allowed to... It's now got a mind of its own? Sorry, I'm just looking. Okay. I think I have to ban... I think when it says things, I have to ban them. So right now, we're gonna go as is. I've also changed the notes to remind it Tony is dead, because it did try to bring Tony back just now. which unsurprisingly led to the immediate downfall. So it says, "Help us!" cried the frightened Sam. I'm gonna keep this sensor up, and we're gonna hit send, and we're gonna see what it says next. Okay, we're back to spook mode. "Help us!" cries the frightened Sam. They see this horrifying beast demon appearing and disappearing from different places in the room, trying to get the investigators. I gotta leave this open to make it visible on screen. There we go. I forgot how I cropped it. "Let me show you your gruesome fate," said the apparition in a gruff voice. Got like my finger on the sensor trigger ready to go. I'm hoping Tony is the issue. Suddenly, several nightmarish creatures appeared around them out of thin air. Soon, the headless ghost of an undead, the bloody corpse with a bleeding arm and bluish face with bloodshot eyes and a mouth gaping open and shrieking, and a ghost wearing a top hat and bow tie, which is Sam. What? And a white-skinned figure with flowing, tangled, messy brown hair, sharp nails, wore a blood-stained lab coat, and had a grinning mouth with blood seeping down the chin, his face covered in scars, cuts, gaping holes with flesh gone. And sharp, jagged teeth that could decimate bones, and eyes with pupils encircled by green blood. The team of investigators trembled. Then out of nowhere came a dead body flying down a window and slamming to the ground, breaking through the wooden floorboards, gurgling, screaming, and soon death. Suddenly they were in a desert of bones, skeletons, skulls, charred bodies, blood splatters, rocks that burst into maggots, dead people, and humans floating down the empty void like a tar pit, and they turned into skeletons. And red glowing eyes illumined, and the eyes contained terror and despair. Then a grimly disguised grinning figure grew into a giant mass and swallowed Tony's teammates and himself in the dim light in some sort of giant entrail maze as they screamed at the top of their lungs and felt their entrails ripping out and heard the sound of gut-wrenching and tearing flesh. As bodies appeared on the surface of the creature, they screamed and cried helpless, fearing their deaths. Little did they know they were already dead. In Ghost Trick Manor, their blood splattered and their bodies were torn into a pool of red blood and guts. Their blood-curdling, spine-chilling screams of absolute, indescribable horror rattled shook and echoed through the house. Two days later, a new paranormal investigation team heard rumors about a supposedly haunted house known as Ghost Trick Manor. Ghost Trick Manor is fucked up, bro. Dude, what a story to end on. The five of them decided it would be a great start to their careers. Bro, it didn't even last 3 minutes. Dude, they walked in the door and they got sent to super hell. These 5 best friends were named Kelly, Danny, James, Julie, and Rob. They had long made up their minds and immediately set out to solve this mystery. Their goals: to collect footage of some real-life ghosts, take this house by storm, and kick ghost ass. Their paranormal investigation team name was simply named Paranormal Nuclear War, and they never knew why. They approached the ghost-haunted manor by the sun's glowing rays hitting it like a spotlight, and the bats flew away as thunder rumbled and lightning struck the moon, crashing down like a fragmented, shattered mirror. Okay, I was hoping... listen, I won't lie to you. I am rooting for Paranormal Nuclear War. And I was hoping things would go better for them. They did pull up to Ghost Trick Manor and immediately lightning struck the moon and destroyed it. So let's see how that plays out. They yelled in outrage as they barged through the doors, which looked like a mouth split apart. The paranormals ran up the stairway and soon got involved in several deadly encounters with ghostly entities. Such beings consisted of eerily sinister giant ghosts with no eyes, and oozing slugs and gross leeches falling out of their stomach, demon hellhound dogs barking and thrashing their claws at them in an attempt to disembowel them, corpse-like crows with glowing crimson blood-red eyes and black wings, leviathan-sized corpses with eye sockets and mouth chunks ripped off, and decaying corpses with intestines and blood spots dribbling out and slimy maggots crawling out of it, shadow demons who tried to swallow them whole, several demonic dogs with burning fire on their hair and on some broken pieces of their backs. Zombie children were being tormented, and there was a screaming ghost head crawling inside the air, but was bloody and maggots fell out of the head when it roared. The paranormal nuclear war team is seeing all these things for the first time. This is their first impressions of Ghost Trick Manor. The group of young adults screamed, trembled, and cried in both fright and annoyance. With a few encounters and threats, they went down the stairway, and then, after a while of running and avoiding, they saw a whole new spooky dimension. A ghastly apparition with pus oozing out and several bloody blisters surrounding her eye sockets. The flesh so bloody and wide around the jaw almost looked as if it had been chomped at by someone. And she was dressed like what appeared to be a rich vampire. What's going on here? When she opened her eyes, the blister was a mix of crimson and blood. A woman with tangled brunette hair with a black grimly ribbon surrounding her and a tattered crown on her head. Danny hit her with a baseball bat. He was packing, and she screamed. Her screams were like several pterodactyls shrieking into the dark open air. A horde of human nubblers. What? Flooded the mansion, and they tried to stink their bloody, stubby, toothless bits to suck the blood, and their ghastly, sharp, and busted nails tore the flesh. In the swampy mud, large and massive shadows creep beneath. They held karambits, and one slashed at the Investigore as she got dragged into the black, bottomless pit. The rest of the Investigores heard screams of agony and terror. They yelled and covered their ears, fearful of the eerie, harrowing shrills. Blood splattered and gushed out of the pile of mud, and pieces of limbs and organs blew about. Who else is there? Who else was it? Rob. Okay. Rob said, "Fuck this," and pulled out a pipe bomb he had concealed. We got it. We have to shut down Ghost Trick Manor one way or the other. Rob threw the bomb into the pile, and the house blew up. No one escaped the flames of the bloodshed. Only those were heard were the horrid banshees shrieking and bellowing as ghostly souls floated out of the flaming debris, and all of the earth below burned, was devoured by voracious earth-swallowing ghost leeches. No, this is not true. This one's not. They're dead, bro. They're gone. The fire spread across the ocean surrounding it, forming a red ocean and turning it into a swampy river of red. Then, just like that, the flames of ash and destruction died down, and ghostly laughing echoed, as if mocking how brave the investigators thought they were. No one would go into Ghost Trick Manor or its bloody hell after that ever again. Time went on, and the stories of Ghost Trick Manor began to simply fade away, lost to time. The world forgetting the horrors that took place there, and never knowing about the heroes who stopped it. The paranormal... What the hell were they called? I've already forgotten. Paranormal nuclear war. Came running to the college essay, dragging every word. Although no one would know of their involvement, 5 dead bodies were found on the shore. From the injuries they suffered, the investigators were confirmed dead, and those deaths were indeed by the hands of the Ghost Trick Manor. Yet the spirits themselves seemed to have taken their remains in the end. Many thought it was only a prank or fake, but the truth is that it really did happen. And maybe, one day, they shall be reborn. What do you mean, did I mean? What could you possibly type here to correct me? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. You have no idea what I meant. I think undesired content is what I was thinking of. You know what? Maybe this simple of an image is truly the most ominous thing of all. You know? Perhaps. Give me the anime one though. Where's the shit at? Where's the giant shit Tony took on the cemetery? Oh, holy shit, bro. Alright. Okay, yeah. That's the what it said, what it looks like on the brochure, what you see when you get there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. As soon as that on the right. Dude, that's Tony, bro. He's taking his shit over here. Listen, bro. No, top right? We don't talk about top right. This is another leech, bro. It's another leech, dog. Dude, this photo's awesome. Alright, hey, thanks for coming to the spooky, scary Halloween novel AI. We should do this again. This was a lot of fun. 3 aggressively different stories here in this stream. It was a good time, good time. $10 well spent. We should do it more so I get my value out of the $10.